Good afternoon. My friends and I are from the Evansville Grove Society. It's your local historical society. We have a museum in the historic Baker Building, the one with the windmill, at the lower entrance of the park. We're here to recite the Declaration of Independence, along with the names of those who risked their lives by signing it. There was a drafting committee, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, but they borrowed freely from other patriot writings, and lots of people made their own edits along the way. The Declaration was a consensus document, carefully worked out word by word over a long time. A unanimous vote on anything was as unheard of then as it is now. The Continental Congress approved the edited version on July 4, 1776. All 57 delegates put their names to it. That was the moment at which the United States of America came into being. As President Lincoln put it, a new nation, conceived in liberty, dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. John Adams called it the greatest question that ever was debated in America, and a greater perhaps never was or ever will be decided among men. Independence Day commemorates one of the greatest events in human history. The Declaration is a living document. It remains to this day a rebuke to tyrants and a beacon of resistance the world over. It articulates the last best hope of Earth, as Lincoln put it in 1862. Today, 15 of your fellow citizens will take turns reading this astounding document to you. All of them are created equal. What makes them equal is that each one of them has the same rights as everybody else, to live their own lives, to be free from domination, and to pursue their safety and happiness as they see fit. Our founding document says so. At rehearsal, we clocked the reading at just over 11 minutes. It won't be too long. It was inspiring to hear all the different voices doing the recitation, and we hope you feel the same way. After we're done, the president of our little society will have a few words to say. So ready? Kaiser will start.
In Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous Declaration of the 13 United States of America.
When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the government.
That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.
Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed.
But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security.
Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former system of government.
The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of related injuries and usurpations. all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world.
He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained. And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them.
He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only.
He has called together legislative bodies in places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records, for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures.
He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people. He has refused for a long time, after such disillusions, to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers, incapable of annihilation, have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convulsions within.
He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states, for that purpose obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of lands.
He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made the judges dependent on his word alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance.
He is kept among us in times of peace, standing armies without the consent of our legislators. He is affected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power.
He has combined with others to subject us to jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts of pretend legislation.
For quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by a mock trial from punishment from any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states.
For cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us, in many cases, of the benefits of trial by jury,
for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses, for abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government, and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies.
For taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our governments, for suspending our own legislatures, and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever.
He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people.
He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny already begun with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages and totally unworthy of the head of a civilized nation.
He has constrained our fellow citizens taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hand.
He has excited domestic insurrections amongst us, and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers the merciless Indian savages, whose known rule of warfare is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury.
A prince whose character is just marked by every act within it defined is a tyrant, and unfit and not able to rule free people. Nor have we been waiting in actions of our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us.
We have reminded them of the circumstances of our emigration and settlement here. We have applied to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence.
They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and of consanguinity. We must therefore acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation and hold them, as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war, in peace, friends.
We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress, assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is, and ought to be, totally dissolved.
And that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do.
And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
From Georgia, Button Gwinnett, Lainant Hall, George Walton.
From North Carolina, William Hoover, Joseph Hughes, John Penn.
And from the great state of South Carolina, Edward Rutledge, Thomas Hayward Jr., Thomas Lynch Jr., and Arthur Middleton.
From Maryland, Samuel Chase, William Payka, Thomas Stone, Charles Carroll of Carrollton.
From Virginia, George White, Richard Henry Lee, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Harrison, Thomas Nelson Jr., Francis Lightfoot Lee, Carter Braxton.
From Pennsylvania, Robert Morris, Benjamin Rush, Benjamin Franklin, John Morton, George Clymer, James Smith, George Taylor, James Wilson, George Ross.
From Delaware, Caesar Rodney, George Reed, Thomas McKean.
From New York, William Floyd, Philip Livingston, Francis Lewis, Lewis Morris.
From New Jersey, Richard Stockton, John Witherspoon, Francis Hopkinson, John Hart, Abraham Clark.
From New Hampshire, Josiah Bartlett and William Nipple.
From Massachusetts, John Hancock, Samuel Adams, John Adams, Robert Treat Payne, and Eldridge Jerry.
From Rhode Island, Stephen Hopkins, William Ellery.
From Connecticut, Roger Sherman, Samuel Huntington, William Williams, Oliver Wolcott.
From New Hampshire, Matthew Thornton. Thank you.
Didn't they do a great job? I'm with the Grove Society, and we just have a few people we want to thank who helped us put this together. And first and foremost, want to thank Marcia Dobbs, who found all these lovely people who read for you today. Thank you, Marcia. And she also was our advisor over the months as we were planning for this. I also want to thank Tyler Franklin with the Evansville FFA alumni, who was our voice for the Grove Society at the planning meetings. So we appreciate his efforts to get us on the lineup for today. Lyman Fusen with the Evansville Community Theater and the Evansville Community Theater Group, who loaned us all of this electronic equipment to use today. And our on-the-fly sound guy, Mark Schnepper, who showed up to run the soundboard for us today, so thank you for that. Ray Anderson and the park crew who schlepped all this stuff around for us and set it up and helped us plan for this. And then thanks to all of you for showing up and listening today. We're really glad you're here. But most importantly, I want to thank everybody standing behind me because they did a great job, and I'm especially proud of the kids. There are 3 youngsters who showed up and read today. They did a great job. And I want to thank Art for his introduction. And maybe this is something we'll continue to do every year. But before you all leave, we held a contest with the Eager Free Library earlier, a couple months ago, to design a commemorative coin commemorating the 250th anniversary. And we have a winner, and we had 250 coins minted. They're antique brass 50-cent pieces. And on the front they have the design, and on the back it says United States of America, 1776-2026, Evansville, Wisconsin. And if you would like to put your name in to win one of these, see Marcia over there. If you can't do that today, we're going to be at the museum this afternoon, the little gold building over by the entrance to the park. That's the historic Baker building. It's Evansville's museum. If you're out and about, we'll be open from 1 to 4. You can stop in and see some things from Evansville's history and put your name in to win a coin. Drawing will begin on Monday. We'll announce winners on Tuesday. And thank you all for coming, and have a great, happy 4th of July, Independence Day. That's it, we're out.